Watch where you are going, Wine exclaimed, her hand brushing the strap of her bag as she wove through the crowd. The station was alive with the clatter of trains, hurried footsteps, and distant announcements. She hated being late, but today had been one chaotic morning after another. Before she could adjust her path, a man collided with her, knocking her slightly off balance. His eyes were wide with panic, dark and piercing, almost black under the dim station lights. He didn't speak at first. Instead, his hand shot out to grip her shoulders, holding her in place as if she were an anchor against some invisible storm. Hey, let go. What are you doing? The man's breaths came in ragged bursts. Sweat gleamed at his hairline, his hands trembling slightly as if his body were fighting some internal battle. He leaned closer, and before Wine could pull back, urgent, desperate, one's mind froze, her pulse hammered, confusion and shock colliding with an inexplicable warmth. What was that? Her voice barely rose above the roar of the station. He broke away immediately, gasping like he had just pulled himself back from the edge of a cliff. I didn't mean, I just. His words stumbled out, harsh and ragged. You stay still, please. One's eyes narrowed, heart still racing, but something in his gaze, a mixture of panic and vulnerability, kept her rooted. Why did. Who is he, and why does it feel like my chest is on fire? Jungkook's thought, God, why is she still looking at me? I'm supposed to be calm, supposed to keep it together. But her lips, they are focused. Stop staring at her, Jungkook. He let go, but his hands hovered near her arms as if releasing her entirely would cause him to lose control. You're acting insane, are you okay? Her voice was soft yet laced with concern, her natural kindness pushing through despite her shock. Jungkook's jaw tightened. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he scanned the station, eyes starting, tension coiling through his body. Then, almost muttering to himself, he hissed, I can't, they're coming, I have to. Who is coming? What's happening? She reached out, hesitant but wanting to help. You don't have to. He snapped his head toward her, gaze sharp, almost frightening. You don't understand, stay back. Wine flinched but held her ground, her heart thudded, not just from fear, but from something else, a strange pull she couldn't name. There is something dangerous about him, something dark, but why do I feel like I should trust him? I just needed someone to. He exhaled sharply, turning away for a moment, jaw tight. I'm sorry, that shouldn't have happened. It's okay, I think. She offered a tentative smile, trying to calm both him and herself. You are clearly in trouble, but I won't. Before she could finish, a commotion erupted a few meters away, a man shouting, another rushing past. Shunguk's head snapped up, eyes darkening. Without warning, he grabbed her hand, pulling her behind a pillar as if shielding her from some invisible threat. Keep her close, can't let her see this, can't let them, not yet. Why is he holding me so tightly? Why does it feel safe even though he is a stranger? And in that heartbeat of chaos, one realized two things. This stranger was dangerous, but also he was obsessed with her. Something in the way he glanced at her lips when he thought she wasn't looking, the way he held her like she might vanish if he let go, it was unnerving and magnetic. Mine finally pulled herself back from the pillar, brushing imaginary dust from her coat through her hands, trembled slightly. Her heart still raced, not just from the chaos, but from the stranger who had her in sheer panic. You really need to calm down. Whatever is going on, shouting and grabbing strangers is in the way. Jungkook's eyes, dark and stormy, flicked toward her, almost annoyed by her audacity. He didn't speak immediately, only exhaled sharply. You have no idea what I am dealing with. His voice was sharp, clipped, almost cold, yet beneath it lingered something fragile. He's so rude, yet there is something terrifying and intriguing about him. Why do I feel concerned? She stepped closer, her natural instinct to care pushing past her confusion. Then let me help, even if I don't understand, I can try. Jungkook's jaw tightened, he wanted to snap to push her away, but some irrational part of him, called it obsession, made him hesitate. He glanced at her lips again, fleetingly as if drawn by a gravity he couldn't resist. Why is she still here? Why do I want her close? She doesn't know who I am. She shouldn't. He shifted his stance and almost childishly faked a small cuff, rubbing his arm as if injured. Maybe you should wait, it's safer here. Wine tilted her head, curious and unconvinced. Safer from what? You don't even tell me what's going on. He avoided her gaze, mumbling, it's complicated, too dangerous. Her eyes softened and she instinctively reached out, brushing his arm. Danger or not, I don't leave people in trouble. That's not me. For a fraction of a second, Jungkook froze. Her kindness and concern, it was like a shock to his system. He wasn't need to people acting so gently toward him, so unafraid. Most people either screamed or ran. And yet here she was, leaning in, eyes filled with calm courage, lips slightly parted as if inviting him to speak. God, she's so beautiful, innocent, dangerous for me, but I can't stop noticing. And just like that, obsession began its quiet, insidious creep. Over the next hour, or what felt like hours, he found himself orchestrating ways to stray near her without revealing anything. A dropped scarf here, a coincidental meeting at a coffee stall there. Each counter made his heartbeat stuttered. Each smile for her made him ache with longing. One sat at a tiny table sipping a steamy cappuccino. Her fingers wrapped around the cup, warmth spreading through her cool hand. She glanced around, half expecting to see the man from the station appear like a phantom. Jungkook, watching from across the street, frowned. He considered walking away. He should be the sight of her sipping her coffee, the way she tilted her head while lost in thought. He couldn't. He wanted to be near her, even if it was dangerous. She is mine. I don't even know her name, but she is mine. Minutes passed, the wind picked up, scattering napkins across the pavement. Mine bent to pick them up, laughing softly at her clumsiness. Chinook slipped twitched into a smirk, an expression he rarely allowed himself. He stepped inside the cafe, pretending to be another customer, but when he reached the counter, he lingered just to so he could hear her voice. Maybe I'm imagining things, but it feels like someone is watching me. She frowned, touching the scarf she had tucked around her neck. Maybe you are not, he muttered, voice low, almost a growl, his gaze locked on her, unblinking. One's pulse skipped, the voice familiar, dark, and magnetic, sent shivers down her spine. She looked up, and there he was, pretending to browse the menu, but clearly staring. I guess I was right. She tried to keep her tone light, teasing, but her hands shook slightly. You have been following me? Maybe his lips curved into a faint, almost predatory smile. Maybe I just wanted to make sure you were safe. Vine tilted her head, her voice soft but firm. I don't need someone following me to be safe. He stepped closer, close enough that the heat from his body brushed hers, his tone soft and almost childlike. I know, but I want to. Don't make me feel bad for it. What is happening to me? Why do I feel drawn to him even though he's so rude and strange? I want her, I want to keep her. And I'll do whatever it takes, even if she hates me someday. The scene ended in a simmering tension neither could ignore. A dangerous magnetism that hinted at obsession, protection, and the complicated dance of attraction that had only just begun. The rain had started quietly, a soft drizzle at first, misting the city streets. Wine pulled her coat tighter, the scent of wet asphalt mixing with the faint aroma of roasted coffee from the nearby cafe. Her heart still pounded from the last encounter with the stranger, the one whose dark eyes haunted her dreams even when she tried to ignore him. I should just go home, it's safer, she whispered to herself, shaking her umbrella in frustration. But before she could move, a shadow fell across her path. Jungkook stepped out of the mist, his coat damp, hair plastered to his forehead. The streetlight caught the sharp angles of his face, the dark glint of his eyes, and for a second the world narrowed to him and her. You really think you should be walking alone in this rain? His voice was low, almost dangerous, yet threaded with something possessive. I'm fine, I can handle a little rain. She smiled, trying to hide the tremor in her hands. The faint sound of footsteps echoed behind her, irregular and hurried. Wine turned, tension climbing. Someone is there. Jungkook's jaw tightened. Without a word, he grabbed her hand, guiding her through the slight alleyways, moving with a speed and precision that made her stomach twist. Why does my pulse feel like it's going to explode? Why am I letting him pull me along like this? The rain soaked through her coat, clinging to her hair. The city smelled of wet stone and gasoline, the sharp tang of electricity in the air as a storm built above. Suddenly, a black SUV skidded around the corner. Two men in masks slipped out, blocking the exit. One froze, panic clawing at her chest. Stay calm, don't show weakness, protect her. Before she could react, he positioned himself between her and the man, arms outstretched, body tense like a predator. Step back now. His voice was eyes over fire. One of the men lunged. Chubuk's movement was lightning quick, a blur. He twisted, avoided the attack, and shot the assailant aside, pulling one with him into a narrow side alley. Who are these people? Her voice trembled, fear and exhilaration mixing in her chest. Jungkook's face was unreadable for a second, cold, commanding, but then a flicker of something softer surfaced as he glanced at her. They are people I would rather you never meet. You need to trust me. Her pulse raced not just from fear but from the dangerous magnetism in his presence. He smelled faintly of leather and rain, his coat damp against her hand. Why do I feel like drawn to him? He's terrifying, but I can't look away. The masked man regrouped, shouting from the end of the alley, their voices echoing off at walls. Jungkook's hand tightened around hers. Listen carefully, you are coming with me now. Before she could protest, he pulled her into a waiting car, slamming the door shut behind them. The rain pelted the roof in a relentless rhythm, masking the sound of the engine starting. Inside, silence stretched for a moment. One's chest heaved as adrenaline surged through her veins. She looked at him, searching his expression. Who are you really? Why are they after you? Jungkook's eyes darkened, the light in them unreadable. He finally spoke, voice low, dangerous yet strangely intimate. I'm someone you are not supposed to know, someone you might regret after meeting. Wine's heart skipped a beat. The tension was electric. She leaned slightly closer, instinctively drawn to him despite fear. Then why do I feel like I should trust you? He didn't answer immediately. His gaze flickered to her, then back to her eyes. A shadow of a smirk played across his face, almost teasing, almost tormenting because I want you to. The car drove into the darkness, rain streaking the windows, the city lights a blur. Outside, the world was dangerous, chaotic, but inside, a storm of a different kind raged between them. Fear, fascination, desire, and obsession all intertwined. A phone vibrated on the seat. Chingu glanced at it. A single message lit up the screen. She shouldn't be with you. Keep her away or she dies. Jungkook's finger tightened around the wheel, his lips pressed into a thin line, his eyes dark and stormy, flicked to wine. You need to be ready. I won't let anyone hurt you, but the truth about me is coming. Once followed hard pulse, hammering rain struck the window beside her, and she realized with a shiver that the stranger she had met in a panic had just pulled her into a world she might never escape. The car stopped abruptly in a dimly lit underground parking garage. The smell of damp concrete and gasoline hung heavy in the air. One's heart thudded against her ribs, a rhythm she couldn't control despite her attempts to steady herself. Where are we? Her voice was soft but sharp with caution. Jungkook didn't answer immediately. He killed the engine, letting the silence stretch. His eyes studied her, unreadable, dark pools of emotion that made her stomach twitch. Somewhere safe. His voice was low, almost a growl for now. Safe? She swallowed hard, glancing around. This place, it doesn't look safe. He stepped closer and Wine instantly took a small step back. Jungkook noticed, but instead of retreating, he leaned down slightly, letting his voice drop into a near whisper. It's only dangerous if you let it be, and you are already involved. Involved? How? I barely know him, and yet I feel trapped in his word already. The tension was electric. She could smell his calling mixed with the faint metallic tang of blood, or was it just her imagination? Her mind was racing, trying to piece together the fragments of what she had witnessed. Masked man, sudden violence, and the shadow of a dangerous life looming over him. You are hiding something from me. Who are you? Her voice was steady, though her pulse was wild. Jungkook's lips twisted into a faint, almost cruel smile. He crouched slightly to meet her gaze, dark eyes glimmering. You really want to know? Yes, I do. I need to know who I am involved with. He studied her for a long, torturous moment, the silence pressing down like a storm. Finally, he spoke. I'm not someone you would normally trust. My life is complicated, dangerous one, and you shouldn't even be near it. But you are here with me, protecting me. Her voice softened, even though I don't understand, you still care. Chubuk's expression flickered, a moment of vulnerability breaking through his cold exterior. He stepped closer, hand brushing a wet strand of hair from her face. Care, maybe it's something else too, something I can't control. His fingers lingered near her cheek, then dropped suddenly as if afraid he would cross the line. I shouldn't feel this drawn to him is dangerous, and yet there's something so human under all that darkness. Then, without warning, the distant echo of a gunshot cracked through the garage. Both of them froze, Jungkook's jaw tightened, and his eyes flashed with controlled fury. Stay behind me. Before she could protest, he pulled her toward a shadowed corner, body pressed the warmth of his chest, the firmness of his arms, the closeness, it was overwhelming. Her breath hissed. Jungkook, what's happening? Her voice trembled, partly fear, partly something else she didn't yet understand. Someone wants you to hurt you or to hurt me. His hands tightened around hers, instinctively protective, almost desperate. I can't let them touch her, not her, not after. His mind flickered back to the first moment, the panic that had triggered the obsession, the pull he felt toward her he couldn't name. The footsteps approached again, echoing against the concrete. Jungkook pressed wine, sliding to cover her trembling one. I trust you. I don't know why, but I do. Her lips were barely audible, her eyes wide and sincere. He wanted to say something cruel to push her away to maintain control, but the truth slipped past his defenses. You shouldn't, but I won't let anyone touch you, not a soul. Suddenly, a shadow detached itself from the darkness, a tall figure, voiceless under a hood, stepped forward and glinting under the dim light. Chunguk's grip on Wine's wrist tightened, and his dark eyes flipped toward her with a strange mix of warning and something unspoken. Move now, or his voice cut off control, yet the response heard froze. The stranger had just realized Jungkook wasn't alone, and in that moment, everything changed. She understood with a shiver that the man she had met in panic, the one terrified and desperate, was a world she couldn't escape from, and the danger was only beginning.